The British public have spoken, and they've said, we don't really like any of our political parties. Keir Starmer walking around with a massive maniacal grin on his face like he's just won the World Cup. In reality, he's won Wandsworth and Westminster, and he's had absolutely no real cut-through in the red wall whatsoever. Talk about clutching at straws, eh? If he really is so chuffed about it, then it sums up what people have always suspected about good old Keir, that he's London-centric. He's just obsessed with the capital. Keir Starmer goes down like a fart in a lift up north. Why? Because he's dull. He's so wooden that birds try to nest in him. If he was a thing, he'd be shopping at B&Q on a rainy Sunday. In fact, he shouldn't even really be in the job, should he? He should have resigned, surely. Keir was pushing the narrative that any rule breach in public office should be a resigning matter. The whole time, people like me were saying, let it go, Keir, move on, he's not worth it. But he just wouldn't drop it, would he? There've been lies, there's been deceit, and there's been deception. His story about Beergate has changed more times than a chameleon changes colours. All the talk was about whether or not Boris Johnson should be considering his position. But may I politely suggest that Labour should be having to think about a change at the top for them? An Islington lawyer will never do well up north. And it's the north that they really need to win. Boris Johnson and the Tories were predicted to get the kind of spanking that you normally have to pay for in Soho. But that didn't quite materialise. Wasn't a good night for him, though, to be fair. It's the midterms. The Tories have been in power for years and years. We've had lockdowns. We've had scandals. We've had him being ambushed by cake. I mean, lest we forget, of course. And yet, still, it wasn't a total disaster for him. The Lib Dems have done all right, bless them, but they're nowhere near nationally electable at all. I'll never forget their leader, Ed Davey, breaking his totally virtue-signalling Ramadan fast by eating a slice of bacon. Nice one there, Ed. Someone's really thought that one through, haven't they? They want us to rejoin the EU, and people are just sick of that now. The Greens, they made some gains, but that's probably just because of the environmental fear that's gripping Britain at the moment, as we're constantly told that we'll simultaneously burn and then freeze to death. We have a situation now where Labour, the party of the working class, the party that was supposed to stand up for the little man who worked down the pit in Blackburn, well, now they're appealing to the wealthy North London chatterati. And the Tories, of course, supposedly the party of the elite, run by an old Etonian ex-Bully Club member. Well, they're now more popular with the working class, it would appear. It's all upside down, isn't it? But the amount of tweets that I've had from people just like you, the amount of emails saying, I actually didn't vote, or I didn't want to vote for any of them. I held my nose when I went into that polling booth. That's a very common one that's been coming in from you guys. It's astonishing, and it's a real shame. Put simply, nobody really won these local elections, but the British public lost. The British public deserves better.